Good evening and welcome to Let's Play the Beginner's Guide. This will be a blind playthrough. Now this game was gifted to me and I am so sorry whoever gave me this game. It's been a really hectic week and when I saw it I was like, oh how sweet, I got this game, excellent. And I forgot who it was that gave it to me, so thank you. Thank you again. If you mention something in the comments, then I'll be sure to highlight that you already did that. Thank you for the opportunity. Kind of excited to get in here. It says this is by the same people who did the Stanley Parable. So, let's see what we got going on here. Audio is on. Okay, WASD, and click. I can handle that.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
Let's do.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
I see.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay, so that's kind of cool. So what, he basically, I don't know, instead of like, you know, some people write all their thoughts or whatever in journals, some people paint pictures, he just made video games. Cool.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay. Pretty straightforward thus far. Are we gonna actually shoot anything?
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Oh, I can't.
It kinda looks like
actually-
this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Oh.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shipment activation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, yep, there it is. Huh. So I just can't go this way? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
Yeah.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Well, maybe it was something to keep the astronauts occupied. You know, way to pass the time.
Okay,
Probably
this
just
is the
boring
part
in a
that's
spaceship.
interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Alright. This is the machine.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all.
Okay.
That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Oh.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Will you kill yourself to save everyone? Well, I mean, we're all gonna die if we don't, right? So, might as well.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay, what? It didn't work? We gotta try again? So there's no going back. We're never gonna... What, we're trying... So are we gonna just keep trying over and over? Oh, look at that.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him.
There's the
Because
labyrinth.
yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Alright. WASD? Okay, I can jump.
So try
Oh.
walking backwards.
Okay. Oh.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Oh. Alright. Well, let's just continue straight back for a bit. Alright. And our music's flowing backwards as well, huh?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Okay. Oh, so we gotta... Alright, why does the future... keep changing. stops and looks, it becomes clearer, but if the future is always behind her... What? How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay, so we've got to stay on this path. Let me just make sure. Couldn't go further this way? No, that's the edge of the world. Alright. We're now entering... What are we entering? Did it say on the back, or I just need to probably keep going?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Alright, I'll believe you.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Well, if they're just ways of working out whatever he's feeling at the time, then...
I know it's tempting, but
When you're
there's
done, you're
actually
done.
nothing over here. Sorry.
Oh. Well, we gotta fully explore everything. So we'll just loop around this edge. The obvious thing is to go up the stairs we saw, but... Okay, I have to see actually if I can fall off the edge, because... No, it doesn't let you. Alright. Just in case the narrator is trying to trick me and there is indeed something over there if I press forward, but no. I don't know, maybe there are things... I'm thinking, like, I used to, like, keep a diary, do the journal thing, and sometimes when you look back on your older entries, you're just kind of really embarrassed. Like, ugh, especially the stuff I wrote in middle school, it was very melodramatic. So, maybe Coda doesn't want to look back on these things, because once he's past whatever state of mind he was in when he made them, he was just kind of like, well, not really feeling that way, I've grown since, and I'm kind of embarrassed to look back. Could be. Maybe not.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Instead of an agonizing crawl. Swinging on an X, staring at a bear for 3 hours. A game where you collect items, except the game automatically quits when you collect them all. A game with only posters and concept art showing what the game is intended to be. You must address and rally a group
A
of weaker
room that's
press
warm
reporters.
and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
You run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically to make the most money before you die. Game with-
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
You are at gate. A series of lavish manuals come with the game, giving you incorrect instructions on how to play. That's kind of awesome. Although, how many people read the manuals anymore? I mean, we're so used to games that give you in-game instructions as you go, or that are just kind of into, like this one at the beginning told me WASD and click. I remember the days. I am old enough to have played a lot of those old games, and oh man, we used to go like rent a game to play on the Super Nintendo, and on the drive home I'd be so super excited about it, and I'd read through the manual. Never read manuals anymore. I do really like that last bit, though. The idea that maybe he has a hard time connecting with people. Maybe people who don't know him see him as standard. I get that. There's a lot of people who, throughout my life, have thought that basically I'm kind of the witch who thinks she's better than everybody else. And no, it's not. It's not superiority. I'm just in person. It takes me a while to really open up and talk to people. I'm just shy. I don't think I'm better than anybody, but apparently I come off that way. Just kind of cold and superior. Not my intent. So, kind of feeling with Coda on that one, where a lot of people misinterpret because they just don't know him that well, and it takes them a while to open up.
Well,
But
this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
I like his little
Go ahead
room.
and see if you can solve it.
I imagine we hit the switch. We'll try that first. But yeah, I really like his little warm, protected, happy secret room there. That if you try hard enough, you can reach. Alright. Anything over here? Did that work?
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
And what do these 3 dots mean? Because we saw that before too.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Let's do it. Ooh.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Well, perhaps it's just the experience. Maybe. Oh, back to this one. Oh, now we're exiting. Alright.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Alright. Video games as art. The Great and Lovely Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
It looks like there's a
So
hill
in other
here.
words, the
Curious.
engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines,
Okay, it's as far
Source
as I
has
can go.
certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making.
The streetwise fool.
You might
eh?
consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Okay, but then we have these very round, pretty. Although that would just be a texture that's on this, right? So, circles on the carpet, not that big a deal, right? Like we've got the texture of the bricks here. And the texture is a very different thing than, you know, an actual model. Can I get over there? I kind of want to get over there. Yes. And there's no reason to, but I'm still excited that I managed it. Now what happens if we fall? There's no health. Do we just fall into forever, or is there always going to be something to catch us? Ah. Oops. I meant to go down the stairs proper, but that'll work. This is just... Oh, I can't actually get to it. You can kind of see the shadow around it in the cylinder. What's making all the noises? Oh, well, guess we're going this way. So this looks kind of like a prison, although the curved parts almost seemed like gladiatorial arena or something.
This prison,
Oops.
funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
I wanted to explore.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And
That
so
might
we
not be
just
the
got
point of
into
it.
heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Yeah, I suppose it really depends on the purpose of the game. You know, some games obviously are made to be very playable and enjoyable, but others are more like, these feel like thought experiments perhaps, or I'm still going with the whole kind of like sort of journal idea, just working out various ideas he's got. I don't know, I can understand. It's like if I were better at 3D art, I have a lot of different scenes in my head that I would love to model out, but I don't actually have, I don't really care even that much about like a concept for a game to play him with. It's more about just creating it so you can see it. So maybe for him that's what this is too, just building this idea that he's got, and it's not really about if other people enjoy it or not, because you're not really making it for someone else. It's more just for yourself.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Promise me that, or is there a trick?
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Let's make a guess. You have to close one door sometimes in life before you can open another. I know that's not very deep, but, you know. Or maybe some new paths. Continuing on a new path makes a previous path unavailable to you? Hey guys, are you listening? Oh. You there, did you come from up above? What was
Here,
up there?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Alright, there was an enormous prison that I could have spent an hour in, but there were these floating colored blocks. A bit of everything. We'll go with the blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. I have. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? I did. That was the last thing I did before coming here. I prefer not to tell you, after all, we've only just met. Well, I mean, it seems like they asked us about the world above, and when we told them about it, they confirmed, so they do know what the world above is. They probably actually know the answer to this question they're asking me now, so... No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. I could mess around with them, but I think I'm going to be honest and see what they say. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Well, none of those are honest. Someone else didn't let me in. I mean, I'm trying to think of a way that someone else could have, but... I mean, we manipulated levers to open the doors each time. Maybe someone let me in. I can't think of a reason they don't want to go over there. There's nothing that harmed us or anything. We're gonna try number 2 and see what that does. You didn't solve it? So you have learned nothing. Aw, you cannot help us escape this prison. You are not the one I need. I'm sorry, guys. Surely there will be someone else. I do really like the heads turning between speak and listen. That's pretty cool. Okay, I feel like I failed them now. Sorry, guys. Nope, so they're done with me. Can we talk anymore? And I can't redo it. I gotta stick with the answers I chose, huh? That's fair. Hey! Are you the same 3 gentlemen? Whoa, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes? Want to know how to solve it? No, we actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? A black space between... Which doors? These ones? Well, the one... You know what I mean. I don't recall it. They're asking, have I seen it yet? So, I don't think we have yet. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll visit again soon. Be sure to pay close attention. Alright. Let's do it. Alright, so there's just the one door. A black space between, you say.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Oh, there it is. I'm guessing. Okay. Oh, but the guys aren't there now.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination. which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What else we got? This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. But is that true, or is that just something that Coda wrote and it's part of the game? What do we got? Nice room, not...
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
How do you beat this game? No point to this. Ooh, we could go that way? And that's the only way. For some reason I was thinking we could go this way, but no, we cannot. Oh, is it still saying... Yeah, the same thing each time. They're pretty. All the little speech bubbles. Whoa, holy shit. Can you guys hear me? Yes, I'm gonna look at all of them if I can. Hello. Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
I'm just curious.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Everyone read this.
But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
So then it is like any sort of work of art, not just like paintings and stuff, but also like written things, books and poetry. That all is... I think those follow that concept of kind of getting to know at least a facet of the author without actually talking to them. This place makes me sad. Alright, let's see what's going on with these little guys over here. The guy over there wrote much wrong. I'd rather be doing literally anything other than playing this. Aww. We're running out of space. Soon we will suffocate. Cool cavern, bro. Oh, that's a cool cavern. Looks like we could fall off there, but... There are too many messages in this area. Why? Hey, I can type here. Do you feel like a hero yet? Not especially. This game is no nice. I would like it when I could. Okay? Do not be afraid. Do you care? I saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I have ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I am crying now and plan on ripping my eyes out. I must go now to do that. Alright. Eh? Personal? How is there wooden, grass, and concrete here? WTF? Well, why not? It's all like neutral, natural tone things. They look nice together. Balls. I want to tell you a secret. Once upon a time I did. What? King of the world. And you? To find fun. And that one just makes me think of his previous argument the narrator was telling us about games having to be playable and accessible or whatever. Well, what makes a game fun? Different people are going to enjoy different types of things. So some people might not like a game like this, but I think it's very interesting, so obviously some people do like it, you know? Let's go down this way. What the shit is this cavern? Actually, something in the grass and the rock. It has a vaguely like Ocarina of Time feel to me. I like it. I'm not sure. Like I know probably most people don't look at something like Ocarina of Time, really, but I don't. There's something about the way it's modeled, the color scheme. I don't know. Maybe the music too. It's peaceful. Boring. I can assure you, guarantee, that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Alright, so we could fall down here. Or follow the path, that would probably be the better way to go. But then what about all of those ones over there? Can we reach them? Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. Alright, we're gonna leap into the abyss. See if we can. We cannot. So does that mean some of these are completely inaccessible? Or if I just follow the path, is it going to curve around and take me through all of them? I refuse to believe. Butt-ass butt. I need to go to the frickin' bathroom. We'll go. It's not like anything's going to happen if you just let it sit. Recognize me, please. Yeah, in light of some of the other things he said, that's an interesting one. But is this someone who's feeling sad and alone? Or is this someone who's making fun of people's desire on any sort of game where you can leave messages, to leave a message and try and say something witty and hope other people pay attention? Strangers you'll probably never meet in person, but they want to be recognized. There's nothing here. Go back. There's nowhere to go back to. Don't listen to that guy. Now, see, this too makes me think of, and especially just because I've been playing Dark Souls as well, and it does have the system where you can leave messages for other people to see. Some people in these types of, if they play a game that allows these kinds of things, are going to lead misleading messages on purpose because they think it's funny. I kind of think it's funny too. They've got me a couple times. So, I don't know, this might just be Coda's commentary on how people treat games where you have the capability to leave messages like this for other players. Although, I suppose if these are games that were never really meant for anyone else to play, you can add that extra layer of meaning into it, that maybe it's something more personal and feeling isolated. A free t-shirt. Need other side. Door, why you so? Door, how open? Open sesame. Makes game, includes door, cannot open door. Thanks. Are you sure it's a door? Doesn't have a handle or anything. Maybe it used to be a door and then I don't know, nobody lives here, nobody blocked it off, but someday I will meet the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Ooh, that's bright and eye-catching. New room! Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? I haven't noticed any chimes. I would like very much to be desired. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. I don't know, this one and the last one seem like maybe they're more just personal feelings the creator had, although it could be wrong. You can go in here, I think. Yeah, some of them feel more like things Coda wrote that he thinks that people would write in an online game like this if they really could leave messages, but then, I don't know, others kind of seem more like there's something specific that he's feeling and saying. It's not very crowded here. Scared of writing something. Don't want to feel judged. See, like that one, the scared of writing something. The people who are scared of writing something and don't want to feel judged wouldn't leave a message at all. But there probably are people that's why they don't leave the message, because they're worried they're going to write something and people are going to react negatively about it. So that feels more like a commentary just on games that allow you to leave messages. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Let's embrace the misery. We can handle it. Take my hand. Let's jump together. I don't think we can. Nope. Cabbage shapes our nation. Well, I know in, like, Avatar The Last Airbender, cabbage was... There was the cabbage salesman. It was a recurring thing, but... That's the only thing I can think of where cabbage might be a reference to, but there's possibly something else. I don't know. That might not be a reference to Avatar at all, but... What is that painting? I wonder if it's one of those... Maybe like 3DI magic paintings, whatever. Or just a painting. It does not matter if you ever get over there. Very good game. You don't talk about me that way. I think then this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Oh. So is that a commentary on people playing these games, how they feel, a desire to connect, or is that something that Coda personally was feeling? Or both? This is a note? Don't listen to the other notes. Oh, that's the chimes they mean. The chimes that keep you going. Duh, come on, Lavinia. The chimes these make when you get close. I'm not safe. It's kind of disturbing, actually. What aren't you safe from? Obviously nothing within the game, but... See, if we're trying to find different interpretations, does Coda not feel safe? Or is this Coda saying, like, a game where you could leave a message and possibly connect to others? Would it be taken seriously if someone wrote something like that? I'm not safe. Maybe it could be a way to try and cry for help, but would anyone listen? I don't know. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Ethical. I saw a person walking down here. Now it won't come back. Now I want to wait and look for a person. Darn you, message. There could be a person. Double Tower Star. Well done, all of you. Painting, what does it mean? Stop faking it. Huh. Art. Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. Help, I am trying to speak. See again, is this something Coda's saying? Who are all of you? We will all die someday. Yeah. It's inevitable. Cabbage shapes our nation. Again? Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Stop pretending you are other people. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Oh well. Maybe I'll feel real someday. So, it's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. I don't know, that almost feels like maybe that's really Coda's point with this game right there. That it's a game where the point is just to leave a bunch of messages, so other people are going to play it just to see the messages, so they're almost connecting with each other, but not really, because they're never going to know more about each other than these anonymous messages. Everyone leaving messages that they hope others will think are witty or kind of cool or whatever else. But what does it matter? I don't know, this is one that's kind of sticking with me here. Double Tower Star. I saw that again as well. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. It's a lot of self-loathing. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. Well, it doesn't have to be. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. Liar. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it.
Scared of rain.
And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next
Yeah, I
one.
can see that. Oh, I do like the whispering. Escape, escape, need an escape. He cut it up and spread it between worlds. What, the idea that we were going through before with all the little connected games? Or really all the games on the whole, as our narrator is telling us. Almost there. I've seen everything. I've traveled the world. I've never told anyone. I wish there were notes in the real world. Become one with the spiraling nonsense. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
You close your eyes and wish for it really bad. Almost at the end. Oh, we got a whole bunch of little message guys down here. Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my god, I've been here for literally an hour. What do I do? Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers please? So is this commentary on people that would leave messages complained about how they're stumped at a place? Or are these like representative of little people that are all stuck on this side of the door?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
No answer, I think. There is no second switch. No solution. I'm heading back to the start later, guys. Guys, it's not so bad in here. Yeah, that almost feels more like these little bubbles are people somehow, and they're just all trapped here, just standing here, waiting, doing nothing, because they don't know how to move forward. There is a solution, though. So, I'm wondering if they'll say anything different when I open the door, but no. Oh, but there's this one here who made it through. Oh. Are those typewriters? How do you leave notes? Ah, see, if it's a person, then that makes sense. But otherwise, the note is left if it's just a note. Oh, and here's our street lamp again. Street light. Yeah, typewriters. They look almost like faces. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak. Porn stars die too.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Alright. I think actually, I'm going to go ahead and wind the episode down here. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Now, as I understand, this is a fairly short game, so come back next time and I'm going to try and complete it in ideally only 2 episodes. I just know that I probably took up quite a bit of time there stopping to read all the notes, but wanted to see what they said.